recording, and also that we are live on Facebook. And then we can go ahead and get started on today's lesson. All right, everybody. So today is the beginning of a new week. It is week 3 of our healthy living series. And so this is session B, and we'll keep going until the end of our 8 weeks. It's week 3. So we only have about 5 more weeks left with each other until the end of our Fresh on Deck season. But hopefully you can get everything that you need out of these classes. And if you have any more questions or anything, I have my email at the very end so that you can send me some questions, or if you want to follow up on some things. So this week, we are going to be talking about mindfulness and what that will mean for you in your journey or whatever your goals are. We'll talk about goals again. You know, we always talk about that. Just so if somebody had met us today for the first time, or if somebody met us a couple weeks ago during session A and they just want a reminder of whatever they need to be reminded of. So just some of the objectives of today is to learning to eat with intention and to pay attention to your actual eating experience without distraction. And then also to become aware of our eating habits and making changes for a healthier lifestyle. So like I was saying before, we're going to be talking about our goals. And if what I'm saying in this does not apply to you, or if this doesn't fall into your goals, then just leave it where it is. But if it is, then you might want to take note of it as well. So mindful eating, what is it? So while this sounds straightforward, the process of mindful eating can be actually kind of complex, especially with those inclined to multitasking. So mindful eating is just the process of paying attention on purpose to your actual eating experience without judgment. So that means to take a second to think about this moment and not what we have experienced in the last few days, not what we're going to be doing tomorrow, right now in this actual moment. So paying attention to what we're eating is eating with awareness. And by being aware of each sensation of the experience that we're eating and acknowledging our chewing, our tasting, our swallowing, our food moment by moment, it just means that we are eating with intention and attention. So intention and attention, paying attention to what we're actually doing, because, you know, we're always busy. We're always going to be busy. That's not going to stop. It's not going to slow down. And so while we are eating, we just want to be mindful or to pay attention, have intention of when we're actually eating. We all have some ideas and beliefs about eating that might not make sense in reality, but it's just something that we still adhere to because it's something that we grew up doing, been doing it for however long old you are. You know, that's just what our brains are telling us, or the people that we grew up with have been telling us. And so this is partially what makes it so difficult to change our eating habits. When we violate any of these beliefs, we become uncomfortable and anxious. And so we just keep doing the same old thing. And so some of those irrational ideas about eating could be, I must eat everything on my plate. If you grew up in a household, the clean plate household, that you have to eat everything on your plate before you get up, then you know, there could be some blowback as an adult, because it's like, okay, well, I'm eating just to eat, and I'm full, but I'm still going to eat everything on my plate and eat past being full. So that could be one of the things that we might be thinking. Or I must eat on time. I always have to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 9, 12, and 6. That's, you know, that's all. There's no flexibility in that. I must eat a big meal in the evening. Even if you aren't hungry, you still, you know, might make a big plate of whatever the case. And you might eat that big meal in the evening and you might not even be really hungry like that. I must have 3 meals a day. I must eat until I'm very full. I must have something to eat to feel better. I must eat it all quickly, depending on if you had a lot of people in the house, or if you were, you know, raised in or had military training, you must eat it all very quickly. Or even if you're just a teacher, you only got 15 minutes. So you have to eat your food as quick as you can get it. So that is also there as well. And I must eat meat at every meal, or at least every day. I must eat when others are eating, so that, you know, it's a social experience. Or I must eat the same food someone has prepared for me, or they don't think that I like them. So that could be some of these irrational ideas about eating. But once you start thinking about those things and you're like, well, I'm grown, okay? I don't have to do these things. You know, it might be something that you were raised doing. And so once you get out of that thinking, you're able to kind of see past that. Like this last one, I must eat the food someone has prepared for me, or they think that I don't like them. I'm not about to eat everybody food if, you know, you don't know them like that, whatever the case may be. That's how I was raised. Or, you know, I was raised the opposite way. You know, if somebody offers you something, then it's polite to take something. But now as an adult, I'm like, I don't have to eat food that's offered to me. If I don't want it, then you don't. I don't I don't want to. So and it's not being rude, it's not being mean, it's just, it is what it is. And so just keep these things in mind. Some of us have, like I was saying, some of us have been taught that it's rude to refuse food that's offered, and that you should just eat whatever has been prepared for us. However, it doesn't make sense if we're not hungry, or if the food that's offered is higher in sugar, or if it's something that doesn't fit into our plan, or if I'm allergic to it, I'm not going to eat it, right? So just keep these irrational ideas and kind of identify them when they kind of come up for you, when you are going about your daily life. So some mindlessness triggers could be, what is your everyday life triggering you to overeat or to be less active, whatever the case may be. You could be eating out of boredom. You could be feeling deprived. You could be a lack of willpower, lack of energy, feeling tired, wanting love and comfort, feelings overwhelming, being upset, being hurt. It could be your just environment, or just certain activities. So sometimes we eat when we're bored and you don't have anything interesting to do, or you're sitting in front of the television and, you know, commercial after commercial comes and you're just eating, whatever the case may be. It could be that feeling deprived, you feel deprived of the foods that you enjoy, and this leaves you to craving them for more often. It could be a lack of energy and feeling tired. You're putting up with so much in your life, like everybody's putting up with so much every day, all the time, that it's constantly draining your energy and leaving you feeling tired. And so when your energy is low, you look for some type of food or something to pick you up, even if you aren't hungry. That is the same of feeling overwhelmed as well. And so your environment could be certain places you go, or what you see may trigger you to eat, or certain activities like going to the movies, watching television, being on vacation, celebrations, whatever the case may be. And so that's also another thing that we need to think about, is like, what is our triggers? You know, what's something that we see or something that we go through that we're like, oh, okay, well, this didn't make me feel so good, so I'm just gonna go and eat, even if you're not hungry. And so it helps to be aware of those things so that you know how to combat that as well. So this is a why do we eat, because this is just the hunger and fullness scale. So think of it as a rating from 1 to 10, 1 being you're starving, you're feeling weak, I'm lightheaded, I'm dizzy, you waited too long, just 10 minutes too long, and now I feel like I'm gonna pass out, right? And then all the way up to 10, which is uncomfortably full or sick, that Thanksgiving full, like I can't move. If I move, I feel like I'm gonna barf everywhere. That type of feeling, nobody likes to feel like that. So from the 1 to 10, this is considered to be the hunger scale, or the hunger and fullness scale. And so real hunger comes on slowly and not just all of a sudden. So we want to pay attention to our body and learn the signs of our true hunger. So cravings are kind of like a head hunger, and they usually occur suddenly and out of nowhere. So like the other day, I haven't had Fruit Loops in years, since I was a child. And the other day I was just like, I want some Fruit Loops. And I'm like, do you really want Fruit Loops? Or is it just something that I'm like, whatever, you know, like something that just comes up out of nowhere. It literally came out of nowhere. Like I haven't had Fruit Loops since I was in high school, maybe even before that. And so it's one of those things where it's like one of those comes out of nowhere type of head hunger. And so find something else to do when you're experiencing that head hunger. And there may be reasons why we eat. Often they are for external reasons. Like I was saying, our environment could be, our feelings. We could be overwhelmed. We could be super tired. And so those are those things where we start to crave things. And so some of us have forgotten how to actually listen to our bodies. And the only reason that we actually need to eat is in response to like a true biological hunger. So this is where we want to use this chart and think about our hunger levels when we start eating. So if you start eating at a level 5 or above, then you are probably might be eating for external reasons and not because you're actually hungry. So if you start eating at a level 1 or level 2, like I'm about to pass out, I'm feeling anxious, I'm jittery, type thing, then you might be too hungry and you might be likely to overeat. At levels 3 and 4 is when we should actually start to eat, because you're kind of hungry, but I'm not really uncomfortable, but your stomach might be growling a little bit. And so there's that. It's different for everybody. And then also considering when we should stop eating, because if we get to like a level 8 or level 9 or level 10, that's when we start feeling sickly, and nobody wants to feel like that as well. And so keep this in mind when you are thinking about like, am I hungry right now? Let's listen to my body. Or is something triggering me? Like, is it the environment that I am? Like taking account into your emotions at the time as well. So how can we incorporate mindful eating to build a new, healthier habit? And so beginning a mindful eating practice could be step 1, stop eating and checking our emails, watching TV, talking on the phone. We love talking on the phone while we're eating, reading a book. I'm talking to myself. I'm good to read a book and eat at the same time, just be so engrossed in whatever I'm reading that I'm just eating and don't even think to listen to my body while I'm doing it. So it's for me as well. I'm talking to myself. Worrying about our day. You sit down, you get a second to actually think about our day. And yes, I can send this to you all via email if you send me a message afterwards, that chart before. But yeah, so if you have stop and you get a minute to stop and just sit down and you're about to eat, and then you start thinking about, well, I should have did this today. I should have did that today. I didn't get this done. I didn't get that done. Oh, I need to go do this. Oh, I need to go do that. Oh, let me write a list. Oh, let me go. Let me. And then you're like, okay, so by the time you're finished eating, you didn't even get a chance to check in with yourself. You ate just because it was right in front of you and you were off thinking about 1,000,001 things. And so instead of trying to multitask, we want to try this instead. Turn it off. So turn off television, put your phone down, try not to think about all the worries of the day. Have a good 5 minutes of silence, even though when you are with your family, you kind of want to, if you have like younger children or grandchildren at the home, or even just your partner in the home, or roommates, whoever's in your home, and you all eat together, you kind of use that time to catch up for the day. But sometimes you just need 5 minutes of silence just so that you can, let me just enjoy my meal. Like I cooked or I went and got food from wherever, let me enjoy my meal. And then also having 3 mindful bites. And that is just being aware as you eat. So taking a bite, chewing slowly. If this is your favorite meal that you're eating, then enjoy the meal that you're eating. If it's not your favorite meal, think about ways that you might be able to make it better for next time. But have those 3 mindful bites, turn off the outside noise and chatter, and just sit in some silence and eat your meal. And then also talking nonstop as well. Also, while you are beginning a mindful eating practice, you can think about the step 2 is stop multitasking. Step 3 is eating sitting down. And I know that could be hard for some people because some people like to move and do and stand up at the counter and eat at the same time. But this also could be like avoid food samples because, you know, by the time that we are tasting our food and you're like, oh, this is good. And then you keep tasting it out the pot and you're actually eating. You're not just sampling at this point, you're eating it. And then you make your meal and then you sit down and then you might overeat because you have been eating, sampling at the same time. That goes for like the taste testing, sneaking in bites. If you do work in an office environment where people still bring communal things, break room snacks or the vending machines, excuse me, and then all that as well. And so try to create an ambiance about your meal. Like the thing that you know, I'm sitting down, you have like a routine. Like if that is something that you need to do in order to just sit down and be mindful, planning your meals and snacks ahead of time so that you don't skip meals and be over hungry. And by the time, you know, 2 o'clock comes and you didn't bring lunch and you didn't have time to go get something to eat, and now I'm hangry and you got an attitude with everybody, and that's okay sometimes, but you know, bring some snacks, bring a meal so that you have it for those times that you can't get away from your desk or you can't do things or whatever the case may be. And then also think about using smaller plates and glasses and keeping extra food away from the table. And then another step 3 of beginning a mindful eating practice is to practice slowing down 20 minutes from the beginning to end of your meal. So sometimes you are so hungry and you just eat so fast, it's only been 5 minutes. And you're done with your meal and your brain and your stomach haven't even had a chance to talk to each other. And so just take some time, chew slowly. You know, we always have to eat fast because we have a busy schedule. We're always doing something. And so be intentional about trying to chew your food. And then it might seem like you're, you know, exaggerating the chew just to chew slowly, but after a while, practice becomes something that you normally do. And so you'll just end up eating slower if that's something that you try to practice. So this is just like a phrase or something that you can use. Your way to mindful eating is either the stop, savor, taste, observe, and pause, or another stop, see, touch, observe, and pause. And so it takes 7 minutes from the time that you eat your food to travel down your esophagus, like down your throat, and end up in your stomach. And then it takes another about 20 minutes for foods to actually digest. So it takes time for your stomach to talk to your brain and to be like, okay, I'm full. So by the time that you might have been eating quickly, your stomach hasn't had a chance, and then you might have overate. So if you give your body time to actually slow down and you're eating, you're chewing and savoring the flavors of the meal that you're having, it gives your stomach and your brain time to catch up to each other so that you're like, okay, well, I think I'm full now, or I know I'm full, or actually I'm still a little bit hungry, so let me just get a little bit more and try that again. And so that's just something that I wanted you all to keep in mind as well. And so when we talk about our goals, this is for everybody. Turning our big goals into smaller, smart goals can help build habits. And so just think about your SMART goals. So if anything that I've talked about before with our mindfulness, if that is something that you want to give a try first, this might seem a little bit less daunting than, you know, trying to redo your entire pantry or redo your eating habit or all of your eating habits or something like that, and you just want to start small, then give this a try. And so this is a way that you can take your bigger goals. So like, I want to try to start eating more mindful. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, how am I going to end up doing that? Then we use these SMART goals. And so the S is for specific and describing exactly what you want to do. M is measurable. If you want to measure your progress so you can hold yourself accountable and to actually know that you're succeeding. A is attainable. So making sure that you have the tools, the time, and the resources that you need to achieve your goal. R is realistic. So you are more likely to have long-term success with small achievable goals. And T is time-bound. Having a start date, a frequency, and a deadline is key to your goals as well. So if you want to see here, like on the right it says I'm gonna eat healthy, but that can be a different goal. Like I want to eat more mindfully when I'm eating my food. So you can say beginning this weekend or beginning Monday, I'll set 20 minutes per meal or for one meal to chew slower, to take the time, to not have my phone out and put it down, whatever the case may be, at one meal or at 2 meals, 2 days this week, just so that you can give it a try. And so that can be your until the end of the week or until 2 weeks from now or something like that. And so that is how that you can change those bigger goals into smaller, smart goals and fit them into things that you want to do. So here, another goal could be, or if mindfulness is something that you don't want to do and you just want to start with, I want to eat healthier. So beginning this weekend, I'll fill 2/3 of my plate with fruits and vegetables at every meal 4 days a week. And so like I've said in the beginning, like I'll keep saying, I'm going to keep saying it and keep saying it, that my goals are not your goals, which is not the next person's goals. And so the good thing about these SMART goals is that they can be super customizable to what you feel like that you need. So like how we said that R is realistic, we want to make sure that we're going to be able to actually achieve these goals. And so here, if beginning this weekend, I'll fill 2/3 of my plate with fruits and vegetables at one meal. At one meal 4 days a week or 2 days this week, whatever you feel like is going to be achievable for you, because my goals are not your goals, remember? Okay. So another could be, I want to exercise more, and beginning Monday, I'll do at least 30 minutes of activity 5 days a week. And like I said, if that's not for you right now, it doesn't have to be for you right now. So it could be beginning Monday, I'll do at least 5 minutes of walking around my neighborhood 2 days this week until, next week. And then after you do that, then you just up those minutes or whatever, however many laps you want to do, whatever the case you want to do. And so I'll just tell you one of my goals, since we always talk about it, and I'm always oversharing stuff about myself anyway. So I decided I wanted to start using the exercise bike. And, if you have ridden one of those exercise bikes before, the seats are uncomfortable. It's just, if you haven't done it before, then you're like out of breath and you're huffing and puffing. And so I knew I had to take it slow because I can do my walks, but, riding the exercise bike is a little bit different than walking around the neighborhood. And so I decided to just go by 5-minute intervals. And so I did beginning whenever day I started, I think it was like a Sunday or something. I just randomly got on it. And I was like, I'll do at least 5 minutes today. And then the next day I went up per minute. And so that's what I did until I got to 10 minutes. And now I'm riding at 10 minutes. And it took me a while. It took me a week to get to the 10 minutes, but that's okay, because movement is still movement, no matter how little or how much you do. And so as long as you're being active, that's the only thing that we can hope for here. And so if you want to take it per minute, take it for 30 seconds, 20 seconds even. Sometimes you have to trick your brain into doing the things that you want it to do. And having a goal at the end, or having like a little treat at the end, like, okay, if I do this, I'll finish this Netflix show that I want to finish watching, right? And so the recipe of this week is a Georgia Waldorf salad. I really like this recipe because I love apples. And if you're an apple lover, you'll like this recipe as well. And so give me just a minute and I will show you all the video of how you can make this. All right, so that is our recipe of the week. So if you want to join us at any of our Fresh on Deck sites, then you can get that recipe while we're out this week. And so I just wanted to start here and say our activity is the word of the week. I'm going to say it again. Activity is the word of the week. So if you come and you join us at any of our Fresh on Deck sites this week, then because you have joined our class today, you can get up to $10 off of your purchase. And so once again, the word of the week is activity. And I hope you all write that down. And so when you come up, you have to tell us what the actual word is. You can say that you have the word of the week, but we're going to ask you what the actual word is. And so we hope you know it, hope you write it down. And so this is also just a physical activity suggestion of this week. Beyonce is coming to Atlanta in the next few weeks. And so because, this just so happened to be the one that I did this week. And so if you are a dancing person, if you listen to commercials and you find yourself doing the two-step, then this might be for you if you want to do physical activity, or if you're looking to be more active, even at home or at work. You don't have to have special equipment. You don't have to have fancy equipment. You don't have to have equipment at all. You just have yourself and internet access. Then you can follow along with this video as well. So give me just a second and I will show you just a small clip of this workout. And if you want it, then I have my email at the end and you can send me a message and ask for it if you like, you want to dance and you want to be more active. And so give me a second.
Hey y'all, welcome. The center heated. Team. I got hot sauce in my bag. Behind the back right here. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. In front of the face. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. Come on, let's go. Who to me, you got some coordination. One more. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. Take it up right here, go. Now team, you got options. Level 1 or level 2. Good. Hey. Damo. Right here, because we're just getting started. You got options. Hey. Or if you want, you bring it up for 4, 3, 2. All right, team, give me.
All right, everybody. So that's just a small portion of the video for this week. So like I said, the word of the week is activity. So make sure that you bring that word for this week so that you are able to get your $10 off at just the one location. And then it will change next Monday, like it has always changed. And so we'll see you all there. But this is just one of the full body type of dancing workouts that there is out there. If this is a little bit too high intensity, they have the lower intensity ones. They have a little slower music. They have walking ones as well. They have people that look like you, people who don't look like you, so that you can see, different bodies moving as well. And so just some reflection of this week is just to be a little flexible and enjoy yourself while you're eating your foods. We want to think about our hunger level as we are eating or as we're about to eat, so that we know, kind of have in our mind how much you need to eat for your hunger level. Give thought to your food selection so that you can get some nutritious foods in and not try to be overly restrictive with the foods that you're eating. Try to add in more things. So adding in more fruits and vegetables, adding in more whole grains, adding in more low lower fat proteins as well. Giving yourself permission to eat sometimes just because you're happy, sad, bored, or just because it feels good. Give yourself to do that. Don't try to, tear yourself down as well, because, sometimes it happens. And then just trusting your own body and trusting yourself. So my name is Jamil Hawkins. I'm the Family Consumer Sciences Agent for DeKalb County Extension. And I do teach these Fresh on Deck Healthy Living classes. You can send me an email at JAM as in Mary, ILLE, Hawkins, HAWKIN as in Nancy, S at uga.edu. If you have any questions, if you want the video, if you want the chart, please send me an email so I can send that back to you. I try to get to everybody within a day or so. So you'll get a message as soon as I see it, just about. And so if you have any questions, or if you have any friends or family that are not able to watch this Zoom live now from the 12 o'clock time or on Facebook Live, then you can send them to our website, freshondeck.com, and we will have the video posted there that goes straight to our YouTube, or you can just go straight to our YouTube. Sometimes it takes a little delay to get on our website, but if you go straight to our YouTube, DeKalb County Extension Services, then this will be posted immediately after the class has ended. And so it should be up there by the end of the day. You can also find us on Facebook at Fresh on Deck, and also on Instagram at Fresh on Deck. And then on the right side is our QR code and our link for our evaluation that I will ask you every single week for the next whenever our classes are, to fill out these evaluations after the class. You can just put the name of the class, Mindfulness, week 3, Fresh on Deck, whatever the case may be, as the title, and that will have that up there as well. So this is the schedule for this week. We will be out this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll be at Embark from 9 to 11. In Lithonia, we'll be in Snellville, that DeKalb Gwinnett line that's still in DeKalb, the Norris Lake community, from 12 to 2 on Tuesday. On Wednesday from 9 to 11, we'll be at the South DeKalb Senior Center off Candler Road. From 12 to 2, we'll be at Stone Mill Elementary in Stone Mountain. Thursday from 9 to 11, we'll be at Reed End Recreation Center in Lithonia. From 12 to 2, we'll be at the Crest Center off Candler Road. From Friday, 9 to 11, we'll be at the Starnes Senior Community in Clarkston. And then from 12 to 2, we'll be at the DeKalb County Extension Office here off Memorial Drive, right after 285. And so also, because you joined us this week, request a kitchen gadget for this week's stop, because you have joined us today. And so I'll put it back here so that you all can see my email if you need to write it down again. It's JAM as in Mary, ILLE, Hawkins, HAWKINS, at UGA.edu. And I hope you all have a great week, and we will see you all out. Have a great weekend, or not weekend. Have a great week. Bye, you all.